Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in the 15th edition of the Bengal Chambers Business IT Conclave. I have been told that the traffic situation outside is not very favorable. Some of our speakers are on the way, though this place is very close to airport, but some are also on the way from the airport. And of course, that may be similar for many of our invitees also. We are supposed to start the program at 10 a.m. We would like to apologize for the delay in commencing the program. However, though even for the opening session, some of the speakers are on the way and they will be joining us, so that we can utilize the time in appropriate manner throughout the program and do not have to curtail down time of our speakers during the proceedings. I would like to start the program with the speakers of the opening session we have now with us. So as you can see, the 15th edition of the Bengal Chambers Business IT Conclave is presented in association with Oracle. We'll start with a brief video of Oracle, our title partner. In the opening session, we will have with us on the dais Mr. Gautam Ray, President, the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Arnab Basu, President Designate, and the Chairperson IT Committee, the Bengal Chamber, and Advisory Leader, PwC India, Mr. Gopala Ramanan, Vice President and JAPAC Controller, Oracle India, Mr. Rajesh Dhar, Senior Director, Sales Head, Industry Verticals, HP India, Mr. Vinod Karumam Poel, Director, Digital Transformation Office, Cisco, Mr. Amit Singh, Senior Vice President, Controllers Data Centers Limited, Mr. Takashi Suzuki, Chief Director General, Jetro, New Delhi, Sri Rajiv Kumar, IPS, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of IT and E, that is Information Technology and Electronics, Government of West Bengal, Sri Babul Supriyo, Honorable Minister in Charge, Department of Information Technology and Electronics, and Environment and Non-Conventional and Renewable Energy Sources, Government of West Bengal, and Dr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Chairperson IT Entrepreneurs and E-Commerce National Committee and Co-Chairpersons IT Committee of the Bengal Chamber. I would request the dignitaries who are present in the hall to join us on the dais. Mr. Gautam Ray, President, the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Arnab Basu, President Designate, and Chairperson IT Committee, the Bengal Chamber, Mr. Gopala Ramanan, Vice President and JAPAC Controller, Oracle India, Mr. Rajesh Dhar, Senior Director, Sales Head, Industry Verticals, HP India. Probably okay. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Vinod Karumam Poel, Director, Digital Transformation Office, Cisco, Mr. Takashi Suzuki, Chief Director General, Jetro, New Delhi. Sri Rajiv Kumar and Sri Babul Supriyo will be joining us. Dr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya will also be joining us. Shombit, if you are here, is Mr. Amit Singh is in the hall? Okay, so we'll invite him when he arrives. So with this, I would request Mr. Gautam Ray, President of the Bengal Chamber, to deliver the formal welcome address.
Good morning to all of you. We have with us today Mr. Gopala Ramanan, Mr. Rajesh Dhar, Mr. Vinod Karumana Pojoi, Mr. Amit Singh, Mr. Takashi Suzuki. We are expecting at any point of time Mr. Rajiv Kumar, the Additional Chief Secretary, Government of India, in charge of the Department of IT and Electronics. He will arrive. And also, we are happy to note that Mr. Babul Supriyo, the Honorable Minister in charge for Department of IT and Electronics as well as Renewable Energy, Government of West Bengal, he will also arrive at any point of time. We also have with us Mr. Arnab Basu. He is the President Designate and also the Chairperson for this function of the Chamber, and Dr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Co-Chairman. And also he is the Chairman of IT Entrepreneurship and E-Commerce Committee. This is the 15th edition of Annual Business IT Conclave, which is a flagship event for the Chamber, and for years together, very successfully, this program is being organized by the Chamber, and whole purpose and the primary objective of this conclave is to bring together all stakeholders who are there in this area, because this is something, the function, because the other areas of the activities may have a little bit of closed family, but this particular IT, it has reached to all across the society. So starting from academia, government, investor, industry, individual professionals, incubators, startups, everybody is joining here, and this has become definitely a platform for a very alive and contemporary discussion. This will not only speak about the specific business, but this will help to create the environment, enabler environment for furtherance of the IT and IT industry, and to build up the culture what is required for. Starting from three areas where Chamber is now really focusing on. One is decarbonization, sustainability. Another is decentralization. And most important is the digitalization. Started with digitization, which were only, records, data keeping, something like this. But digitalization is a much larger framework, all of us know. And actually, it speaks for the process change. It speaks for entire transformation, what is needed for a particular industry. Now, we believe, and we sincerely believe, that West Bengal and Kolkata is probably one of the most preferred destinations for this industry. Huge plethora of talents available, and we know it's not only within the city of Kolkata, but also they are now have their graceful presence all over the country as well as abroad. We have a very good infrastructure. We have the potential to grow, and most importantly, the initiative and the will of the government of West Bengal, who are really giving focus for furtherance of this sector and the industry, which we will definitely listen from both Honorable Minister and Additional Chief Secretary. Another great advantage of that West Bengal has, all of you know, it ranks second in MSME in the country. And this MSME always necessarily not be restricted within manufacturing sector only. I am speaking about the scale where these initiatives are operating are very, very suitable in the IT sector also. And there is a huge scope for growth in this particular sector also. Hand in hand, there have been leading universities in the country and the private academic institutions who are now also focusing heavily on this sector. Almost everybody has incubators, incubation center. They're encouraging the startups. So this all together probably the most conducive environment or platform has been created for the state to develop. Bengal Chamber is also trying to bring this initiative spreading all over the state, not restricted to the city of Calcutta, connecting to the industrial hubs nearby so that the reach and the potential can be much more than what it is today. We are very successfully mentoring and operating the incubation center in collaboration with the government of West Bengal. Not only within the state, just in the beginning of August, we will have a Tech E-Summit in Bangalore, where actually we are trying to make the people who are there outside the state, to make them more interested and to let them know that how we can really communicate with them, we can collaborate with them, and so that some collaborative initiatives can be taken place. Today we have country session on Japan and Bangladesh. Delegates have come from BASIS, Bangladesh, and JETRO with Japanese IT companies. There will be B2B discussions. And recently, I tell you, we had 2 delegations, one in Thailand, one in UK, where there had been good number of B2B discussions, some of which will definitely take a very, very positive shape in near future. And not only restricted to the industry to industry, we are trying to link up with the academic institutions abroad also. Now, universities or academic institutions, I would specifically request to entrust them with much more responsibility, because it's a worldwide phenomena that they play a more positive and active role in developing this industry. Last but not the least, there are brain, there is intellectual capability, thoughts, new ideas, but necessarily to transform that into a business is a separate issue. It's not necessarily that it will be automatically transformed into a business entity. So it requires a capability building process. We are trying, in fact, in a sense, we are trying to initiate a process, BCCI Leadership School, and we are in the process of making collaborative programs with the leading management institutes. But this is something where we have to really give special emphasis. And I hope that this conclave will deliberate on some of these issues, and it will be a very, very successful event. Various subjects, many eminent speakers will participate, and with this, I believe that it will be successful. Thank you again.
Thank you, President. We would now request Mr. Arnab Basu, President Designate, and the Chairperson IT Committee of the Bengal Chamber and Advisory Leader, PwC India, to set the agenda for the day.
Thank you, Angana. Thank you, Mr. Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 15th year of the BITC, one of our signature programs. I've had the privilege of being part of this for almost 10 years now. And in the 15th year, It is, I would probably consider it a great privilege that we have such an illustrious panel on the dais. We have great speakers throughout the day. This program has over the years become an iconic program for the IT fraternity in the city. It is difficult to do these kind of programs year on year and keep talking about tech, because sometimes when you talk about tech, you kind of start thinking that what's there to say? Everything has been spoken already. And it's also quite difficult to keep in touch with new tech happening, every year, maybe every quarter, something new comes up. But it has been the endeavor of the Chamber to make this event an event where you can come and learn, and you can come and deliberate, and you can come and think about what tech is driving us towards. And in today's world, we felt this year that we should focus on the theme, Tech for Good. Now, if you think of it, what does this even mean? What does good mean? What does Tech for Good mean? And I'll probably try and give you a few snippets of my thoughts. We obviously have the keynote coming in from Gopala and also many of the others who would be deliberating on this from their perspective. However, when we look at Tech for Good, one of the things which the President touched upon was, how is it pushing us towards a sustainable future? Now, the Chamber this year, we adopted sustainability as one of our key themes for each of the different committees that we have. We said that we need to build SDG, some SDG as central to their goal. And with change in global dynamics, concepts like ESG have emerged as a board topic. But can you really drive some of these SDGs without digital transformation? If you look at even currently digital transformation or digital adoption, it plays a significant role in achieving these SDG targets, whether it's around transforming cities, whether it's around transforming communities, businesses. Each of these are affected. If you think of what the world adopted in the Paris Convention, in the COP21, none of those can be achieved today without a heavy adoption of digital. So of course, from the perspective of ESG and the perspective of the SDG realization, tech is very important and tech is for human good. But let me talk about a few other things which are probably closer to heart for some of us. If you think of the entire concept of embedded finance. Now, when you think of embedded finance and when you think of what these e-commerce firms and the tech firms have been trying to do with us, consumers, for a very long time they have been trying to get into all sorts of financial transactions on their platforms rather than on other pure financial platforms like banking sites. Embedded finance has come a long way, and if you think of a country like India, while initially the banks were worried about what will embedded finance do in terms of driving long-term customer loyalty, and the customer loyalty is sort of shifting to these e-commerce platforms, they also understand that for the huge unbanked population of India, embedded finance is a very great way of getting them into the banking fraternity. The other thing I would probably try and talk of is, we've all heard about the train accident which happened a few days ago. Now, if you really think of unmanned traffic management, think of what digital adoption can do to this. And it is not just about traffic management on train tracks, on road crossings, but even as drone delivery gets, sort of commonplace, even when you see satellites being put up almost every day by ISRO, not only for itself but for other countries, you would understand that when it comes to the unmanned traffic situation, both terrestrial and aerial, digital adoption can do a great impact. The other one which is very interesting for me, and I have been reading about it a bit, is this entire concept of 4D printing. Now, if you think of it, we have been talking about 3D printing for some time. So what is 4D printing? 4D printing is essentially a 3D printed item which will change form when you give it an external stimuli. Now, what does it think, what do you think it can probably happen? And sometimes it's interesting to think of what could be the, different options which can come out of 4D printing if it becomes commonplace. So think of it that a floorboard is sent to you, and when you just give heat to that floorboard, which has been 3D printed, that floorboard changes into a chair or changes into a sofa, right? That's the kind of change which can come in if 4D printing becomes a reality. And it doesn't have to be a simple thing like a chair or a sofa. It can even be a blade of a turbine, where you can actually push a block of iron or a block of steel, which when you give it a stimuli can change to the blade of a turbine. Now, if you think of some of the other things which are happening, you can't have a digital conversation today without talking of AI, right? And AI is probably the AI and Gen AI. You have to talk about them. You have to talk about what it is going to do. But if you think of the widespread impact of that, the widespread impact of that is not only about productivity. Yes, we will become more productive. But the widespread impact will be about driving innovation with a Gen AI-ready workforce. The adoption of cyber vigilance and how you can do cyber vigilance using AI. If you think of the way some of these industries are sort of morphing, you would also find some companies are going from one industry to another industry without even realizing. If you think of Microsoft today, the first thought which comes to many of our minds when we think of Microsoft is A, it's a tech company, B, it's a cloud company. But not many of us would think of Microsoft as an energy company. But if you really think about the kind of data centers it is setting up, can it really succeed if it is not also thinking as an energy company? If you think of the entire concept of consumer trust, almost all of us who are in client service keep thinking about it, that, how do we look at consumer trust? How do you think of consumer trust would change with applications of tech around personal data, around source of, raw materials, around the interplay between manufacturing and supply chain? All of these are being enabled by tech, and these are all applications of tech for the benefit or good of human society. The other one which we keep talking about, again, in many tech forums, is about quantum computing. Now, if you think of quantum, of course, you're thinking of quantum and you're thinking of all the different applications. But if you think of molecule discovery, drug discovery, and how pharma industry is adopting some of the benefits of quantum computing as they become more and more a reality, it is mind-boggling what you can do with some of these techs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, tech for good is not just something which is about an esoteric concept which you can, only debate on. Tech for good is about getting some of this tech very closer to our life and understanding what could be the application, what could be the, utilization of these tech which stare at us in our face all the time. So with that, I would probably again say, we hope this would be a day where you take back quite a few ideas for your businesses, for your programs, for your initiatives. We have an illustrious panel today for you to listen and learn from for the entire day. Once again, it's my pleasure and privilege to be standing here in front of you as the IT Committee Chair of the Bengal Chamber and welcome you once more. Thank you. Have an excellent day of deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson and President-designate. We would now move on to the keynote address on achieving lasting success on Oracle Fusion applications by Mr. Gopala Ramanan, Vice President and JAPAC Controller, Oracle India.
Good morning, everyone. You may be wondering what a finance guy is standing here on the IT conclave. Maybe I'll do the justice because I've been with the tech industry for the last 25 years. So that's why I'm here. And I'm a heavy user of technology. This is a normal safe harbor statement. And today, my focus of what I want to discuss, I know there's a diverse people who are there, most of them from a technical side and HR and then supply chain. And I would like to cover all these areas, mostly talking about how we use the Fusion in Oracle, and also I work with a lot of customers, mostly the CFOs and the CIOs, in understanding their requirement and see how we use it and cross-pollinate in the terms of like getting the best practice from everyone and then making it available in our system in the Fusion. Today we say it's an uncertain world. Okay, everything keeps changing. Even we said VUCA world some 5 years back, today it's a Barney world. Tomorrow we don't know what terminology we use, because even that is changing. So in this ever-changing world, one thing we need to do is I don't want to change my systems every now and then, and I want something which can sustain for a longer time, and how I can do more with less. So that is more the primary focus for most of the businesses. And how Oracle Fusion addresses some of the challenges that we are having today. How we focus is the Oracle systems has everything that what you want and to meet these challenges. And we try to see how you are successful using our innovative ways. So this is what you need, right? Over the last 20 years, we have acquired more than about 150 companies. The names I would say, when you say like companies, is like a PeopleSoft is one of them, and it's a name. We have, and I've been witnessing, I'm in the 21st year with Oracle, been through all the acquisitions and integrations. You ask me the challenges I can talk about. And we have the best-in-class industry verticals over the years acquired and then inbuilt into the Fusion system. And then we have the applications running on ERP, supply chain management, human capitals, CX, and whatnot. Apart from that, we have a common marketplace where you can engage third-party vendors, the service vendors, software vendors, which can seamlessly work, mostly in case whatever the areas that you want to. It is available. Like a Play Store, you can just go and hook onto that, and then it will work seamlessly with the OCI, that's Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. And you have this one, and none of the tech meeting or even a finance or even HR meeting never ends without mentioning this word, AI and ML. And it's all embedded in our cloud infrastructure. And this is what the AI, and of course, there are speakers who are going to talk about the user cases and some of the cases which we have done with the customers. What I'm trying to say here is how we embed Gen AI and classic AI into our system, the OCI, so that it works seamlessly, and also with some of the third parties and based on the requirements. And these are some of the AI and classic AIs, Gen AI and the classic AIs thing which is there. I'm not going too much into this one, and because there's a separate session on this one, and which you can learn more on this one. And this AI is not something that we have started using in the last few years, almost a decade. It's been used in the Oracle systems, and we have been party to that. Let me talk something about the classic AI examples, the features which are available across the systems that's available. be it your CX, and you have the best is the digital assistant in all these modules. And especially in the finance, one of the things that business wants to know is the predictability of the future. How do I do my forecasting? Today, it's very difficult even to forecast anything in this world because something keeps changing and someone needs to do it. For example, when this corona came, that's the time most of the people thought, what should I be doing? Because some of the things which has to be done on the site has to be closed. So people thought how it needs to be done, and it should be a real time. And it can be changing any time. For example, some of the industries, one of my best friends who's a CFO of a distillery, they said, shut, open, you can't transfer. So they need to predict what is going to be their offtake from their units. So these are something that is there, and things keeps changing, and how we make use of those which can be seamlessly integrated into our systems. So I'm not going through detail, but ERP something is that financial planning and cash predictiveness, that what we are doing, and some in the CX is, which I see a lot, even CFOs are asking how do I can implement CX in this one, because they are involved in the decision making now. HCM is another classic case where we have a predictive analysis, except like you can't predict what's the attrition, but it can throw you some lights on that one, which I'll be happy if I see that the way the attrition happens in the IT industry. I'll be happy if some AI comes and says, okay, this person is going to leave. But believe me, 10 years back, we had a psychological indicator in Excel. We say whether the person is withdrawal symptoms or something, so this person should be leaving. But that's something that it's very difficult to do that. Moving on, like we call this Oracle playbook for the corporate development. So these three things, earlier we call it as a PPT, not PowerPoint template, but it's a people, process, and technology. Now we call PPS. So things keep changing. We have to change a bit, right? So our people focus, the people is more on the customer focus, how we address the customers, and then the requirements, and then the processes. Keep it simple. I know there are a lot of things when I speak to someone, when they want to set up a ledger, they want each and everything. For example, this is a cost center, this table, and how many people are sitting on that table. Too many analysis for paralysis, cost capturing, but we have made it simple, not the requirements, but the basic requirements which you need to run your thing, like a thin ledger. And the process is simplified in terms of, for example, like I can cover it later in the slide. We made a global journal entry, right? In the Fusion, earlier, for example, in India, I need to post one journal entry. I need to post one in China, one in Japan, one in UK, one for Mexico, one for the US. Today, in one go, across all countries, I just make one report, just upload, and it get posted, multiple ledgers, multiple currencies. So that's something that we made the process simplified, which helps the business to close the books faster. And then the systems made available the latest available technologies, be it the AI, ML, and whatever not, the predictiveness. Those things we have been doing, and recently we launched the cash predictiveness, the forecasting, the cash tool. And that will be good, especially when you're having multiple businesses and having cash in multiple places to see how you can pool or how you can move it around, and what is the cash forecast for the next 6 months. And again, this is my favorite area, which we keep talking for the last 5 years. When I joined Oracle in 2004, we used to close the subsidiary books on Workday 5, right? And the AP closes on Workday -1, the last day. Till such time we book the entries, and AR will close on Workday 3. But we never cut any of these things, like saying, moving our close to 7 days ahead so that I can report early. No. The same cutoff, the last day, and revenue on the Workday 1. So we closed, and today we closed globally all the subsidiaries on Workday 2, which is a phenomenal one. And how it's possible? Earlier, the intercompany, we operate out of 150 geographies, countries, close to about 500 entities we have, which have cross transactions. One person selling and getting commission, it needs to be charged back. All the intercompany, it used to take minimum 1.5 days, has been done in 1.5 hours. Now it's even much lesser than that, we are trying to do it. And 60% of the manual activities have been moved to auto. For example, I explained the journal entry part, and some of the things that what we did. So this enabled us to reduce the manual intervention, and then one person can handle even 10 countries. Earlier, one person, one country, now one person, 10 countries. The person can do this. This is during the close time. You know how critical it is, because this is not going to be on a daily basis. On a closed day, the time is more critical. So this person spends more time in analytics than in doing the work. Bank reconciliation, you may be wondering, why 97%? Still some banks give bank statement in paper format. So I can't do much on that one, but we are trying to see how best we can do it 100% the auto reconciliation for banks. One is that the comfort, and the second, the control on the bank accounts, which is the major one for us. And the the account reconciliations between the subledger and the GL, it's 25% is auto reconcile, no need for any manual intervention. The rest we need to review, some of them are manual in nature. And if you say that 25%, there are much more, I would say, because some of the things which doesn't keep moving, like equity and all, we are talking about the moving balances every month. And why we did it is, in less than 10 calendar days, we published the financial results. The results are out, and almost on the, for example, the year end for us is the May 31st. The results are published on 11th. And by 7th, I signed off with the global audit partner, so everything was done. So that's a kind of automation we did from a financing side. And when you say finance, it's not finance, because unless all the sub-feeders are not working in tandem, we can't just close the books. Financial planning cycles, earlier we used to do the templates, upload and all. Today, each and everyone, they just log in and do it, and almost 80,000 plus hours have been saved, and that savings is not reducing the account, but we want us to analyze more and get more business insight into that. And each and every one standing here, I can just log in to see what is my current budget or forecast, where am I today. The digital assistant helps me, and every day I get it's called a sales bot. It sends me the results through an email. So I need to do just a 5-minute review of what moved, and it gives a line saying that what moved from yesterday to today. If there's any big ticket items, I just need to review those things. It's very helpful from a sales perspective. We need not have a regular sales call and then pull the sales team for this. Cash, which is the bread and butter for any of the businesses, even if you are cash rich. Some of these things that we do to make it easy for the customer. One is that the auto books. So most of our orders, when we sign with the customers, we don't go through and then book it manually. It's all auto booked. And processing the orders, and then the invoices are delivered automatically, and there is seamless, there is no manual intervention, so that manual errors are avoided, except few cases where people come back and say, I need some change, which is a credit memo we need to do. That's around 1%. And all the subledgers relating to the AR side close within 24 hours from the close of the month. Procure to pay, seamlessly we reduce the processing, all the matching is automated. It's all system driven, and the volumes, 70% is being automated. The rest 30, some countries, yes, we need to do. I know you are like a Korea or China, where we have the eSaro and then the FAPIO. So something that we need to do with the government website, so you need to generate, so that takes a little bit. We're trying to work on that too. So this is what I said. We almost, I think it's, if my memory is right, we crossed 165. I don't know how much is that. The last one was Cerner, then one more thing, Next Technique in Australia. So what we have done is we invested heavily in buying the best-in-class applications so that it can get fused into our Oracle Fusion and it's available for all the customers. So be it, name it, like we have the YFSS, which is the earlier iFlex, and recently we bought Cerner, which is a healthcare product. So we get the best and then made available to all our customers, the industry verticals. And again, integration is a challenge. Over the periods, we learned how to do it. The first few were tough for us from a finance and also HR and operations also, like the software, whether it should be a separate team or something. We learned over the first 5 years. Today, we had some people leaving, but 1/3 of the acquired entity people are still with us. So that's a good sign, and people have the continuity, and they also been absorbed as part of the Oracle family. The best is more than 5,000 applications. What we bought has been fused, and the identity is now it's Oracle. Though internally we know what that product is, but that is being fused, so it's available for you. This is something that it's happening, and in fact, in some countries it's been operational. All that you need to do is the expense reporting. During a Slack, I can just scan my receipt. If it says Kolkata, so it will automatically say, do you want to create an expense report for your travel to Kolkata? I said, yes, okay. Do you have any more bills? So I need to just scan it, and it will create my expense report. And if I say yes, it will just submit. And some of the things that we automated using machine languages, for example, every month I submit my broadband bill, which comes around, say, 1,500. The manager need not spend time in approving it. It just says, and then it approves automatically and sends a message to the manager, this report has been submitted. If you have any questions, you stop it. So no need to wait for that. Employee is happy. And before doing that, we also analyzed, is this something that we can share some of the success stories? Hardly less than 1% rejection was there in these things. That too by mistake, human mistake. So why penalize the other 99%? So that's where. And beyond the finance, these are the areas, even I work with them, some of them in the supply chain, which AI is being utilized in terms of the algos, especially in the ETAs. So that is something that even most of the logistics persons, they want to know what happens when my things getting moved from one place to another, and when this will be done. Last month we have been discussing in terms of a delivery structure which is a custom-made concrete mixer. So you need to buy a vehicle, you need to get a mixer, and finally I need the product. So when I will be getting real time, for example, like Uber, you know the guy is 2 minutes away from you, so the customer will know when they will be really getting that thing assembled and coming. So these are something, and coming back, all these stuffs are different people handling. I know it's a different group here, but one thing, as Mr. Arnab Basu was mentioning, the ESG, today it combines all the functions in an organization, and we have to work in tandem. And we have a product in EPM, which, and I'm saying because I'm driving the ESG reporting globally for Oracle. I'm in charge for the risk and compliance. And when your ERP captures those data, whatever that you need to do ESG, we have BRSR, which is in the starting stage, but the European Union has come up with a lot of requirements, and Japan has started because we have listed entity. Through the system, you need not bother. It can pull the data as long as it's available in that one. That's something unites all the functions. And we have close to around 13,500 customers working on the apps, though we have 4 lakh customers across the globe. The cloud customers who are working on the SaaS side, they run the business in Oracle SaaS. These are some of the things like some of them Hearst, and then Western Digital, HCM, and there are a lot of people use that supply chain and the HCM a lot. ERP is our bread and butter, but HCM and something are being used by many. So as we said, do more with less. So whatever that the customer wants and in an innovative method and how we can be contributing to your success. When we say, how do you can make my business success? It's like giving you the real-time numbers and also the innovative solutions, because it's something is being used by others. So the cloud is something that if someone is getting used and want a better product and they come with an idea, that idea is embedded which can be used by the others also. So that's how you get the best of the industry in this one. So that's pretty much from my side. And there is an Oracle Cloud World which is happening in September, right? In September in Las Vegas. You can go to oracle.com, which is a tech. People, I know a lot of people from a tech side here. If you're interested, it's in Las Vegas, the place to be in, and with a lot of technology thing happening. Thank you. Have a nice day. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Ramanan. We would now move on to the industry address on accelerating sustainability with digital initiatives, keeping in sync with our theme Tech for Good by Mr. Rajesh Dhar, Senior Director, Sales Head, Industry Vertical, HP India.
Sustainability must be a priority from the start, not an afterthought.
If you have the right ideas, you find the ideas that will advance the company and you pursue them relentlessly, others will want to come to your table.
I think this is our biggest challenge as a society and as a planet, and we need to do more and we need to do it faster.
Our approach to sustainability is rooted in our own strategy and our commitment to be a net zero enterprise across our entire value chain by 2040, with near terms by 2030.
Reality is making sure that you have the infrastructure in place that gives you that visibility, that you get both the business benefits and the sustainable IT benefits as well.
It's not just good for planet, it's good for business.
We have got one planet and we're all responsible.
We're organizing a roadmap to best position our customers to not only understand, but also decrease the footprint associated with their IT estates.
So when you think about customers who are really interested in how they can be sustainable, this is where we give equipment first, second, and third lives.
Sustainability is a collective effort, and we need everyone to not just join in the conversation, but to convert that to action.
I'm proud to work at HPE because I truly believe that technology and innovation are the best and biggest ways that we can create a positive impact on the world.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. My name is Rajesh and I look after sales for HPE in India. And it's a pleasure to be here addressing all of you. And let me start by congratulating all of us for a great win yesterday we had. And I think a lot of us were awake till around 2 o'clock, and to be here in the morning on time, it's great. I don't know how many of you also followed the World Cup ODI last year. And there was a ad which Mahindra's did, Mahindra Rise. And I think the whole context of that ad was how Mahindra is so conscious about sustainability, how their vehicles are sustainable, efficient. But the key point of that ad was who it was addressed to and how they had conceptualized that ad. And you would see kids from age of around 8 to 12 in that ad. And they were targeting the millennials about how Mahindra as an organization is so specific about the sustainability. And I think I have 2 daughters at home. And believe me, they look at a carbon footprint for the clothes we wear. There's a platform where you today can buy used clothes, and a lot of them, they do that. And they have a very, I would say, critical perception about our generation, how we've been little more I would say, indisciplined about sustainability, about our lifestyles, about how we live, and what kind of planet we're leaving behind for them. And believe me, these are the millennials who are going to buy our products. These are the millennials who are going to consume our products. These are the people who are going to decide who they would want to do business with. So to me, ESG or sustainability for organizations, while it is good to have, to me, it is now also becoming critical that organizations, for them to be relevant in future, if you're not very particular about sustainability areas, I think you could be irrelevant, despite the fact that you may have the best of the products. So that was to set the context, and I'm very happy with the topic and the theme, which is Tech for Good. And I think it also gives a little bit of pride in the work we do with our customers as a community. Just to set the context, I thought I'll also set the context while we're going to be sticking to IT and digital initiatives, what companies are using to drive sustainability. But just to set the context for ESG, environment, social, and governance, and some of the areas where we're seeing a lot of interest, a lot of focus. I think one is very clearly diversity in workforce. There is extreme focus on organizations today to see that there is women workforce, there's gender diversity. It doesn't stop there. They also want to look at how many women you have in their senior management, how many women on the board. I think there is a lot of focus around that. The second area we see is the social impact through CSR activities, and that's another area. A lot of companies are spending time, energy, money to see that whatever CSR spend they're doing, what is the social impact they are creating, and that's getting amplified as a brand amplification. And the third area where there's a lot of interest, and which is where I'm going to spend some time, is around energy efficiency in all the areas of your operations. And while I'll be talking about IT operations, and depending on the industry you are in, it can be 80-90% of your carbon footprint if you're an e-commerce company or a fintech company, or it can be 5 to 10% if you're a conglomerate, have a lot of manufacturing plants. But these are the three areas. And to me, it's no longer a choice, because if you are a company which is exporting to Europe, you realize that they are so particular about your sustainability score. They're so particular about your supply chain sanitization. They are very particular about whether you can sell in their economy if you're not particular about the sustainability area. So it's no longer good to have. It is now in some parts regulatory, and I think in my interaction with the government, there is a lot of sensitivity being driven around ESG goals, and specifically around energy efficiency. And you will see that coming in the data center policy or anything and everything what government sees, even AI policy, how organizations and companies are going to have a certain specific goals around ESG. Now, there are issues. While sustainability as a conversation is very broad-based today, possibly right up at the board level, whenever I meet customers, you invariably end up talking about sustainability goals and the activities they do. But there are issues. I think in holistic view, right now what we're seeing is a lot of these sustainability initiatives are siloed. At any point of time, if you want a comprehensive view where you are on sustainability index, I think it becomes very difficult for a lot of customers. Scarcity of specialized talent, and this is, when you run these themes, and I'll show you some of the themes which customers run on sustainability, I still believe that the talent pool which is available to drive some of these sustainability initiatives, I think it's still a challenge. The two broad areas I'm going to cover to restrict our conversations specific to IT. One is a lot of you and a lot of organizations today are digital, and majority of the operations are digital, and hence there is a lot of dependence on IT, and hence there is a lot of IT footprint you have in your organizations. and hence you also have a carbon footprint associated with the IT. That's one aspect. And second aspect is how can you leverage IT to drive some of these sustainability initiatives and help organizations to have a near online, near just-in-time visibility of the sustainability initiatives you're running. So on sustainable IT, I think there are three broad areas we see. One is, world is hybrid, you're running your workloads, data has gravity, and every time data moves, you're spending money, but you're also consuming a lot of energy, you're also creating a lot of carbon footprint. So we've been working with a lot of customers around choices they make, whether you should be on-prem, whether you should be on colo, whether you should be on cloud, what are the interdependencies of your applications, what is the crisscross of data which is moving around. And we believe this is another one big area where customers are spending a lot of time and has a big impact of the carbon footprint in your IT. The second area is the choice of equipment you use in your data centers. Sometimes I've seen customers would love to sweat out IT assets for 7 years, 9 years, but they also possibly need to look at the efficiencies which newer technologies are bringing. We've done a lot of use cases where we realized that if you refresh an IT equipment after 3 years, possibly you're saving more money because of the performance jumps you're getting, the efficiency in the data centers, the power and the cooling requirement which you use to cool the older equipments versus the newer refreshed equipments come. So, I see a lot of customers now looking at those aspects rather than looking at pure sweating out assets. We've been avoiding water in data centers for too long, and with AI, with what we're seeing, the NVIDIA AI chips, today a single AI chip consumes 1800 watts of electricity. So technically it means in a rack, when you used to have 7, 8 servers, today you can just have one server and you'll be still struggling to cool it. So we're seeing now a lot of liquid cooling coming into the data centers, and it's time for all of you to start evaluating some of these newer technologies which will help you to cool your data centers better. An average data center which we see in the market is running at around PUE of around 1.5 to 1.6, which means for every 1 unit of electricity you consume to run your IT, you are consuming another 0.6 units of energy to cool it. Today with liquid cooling data centers, it can be as low as 1.06. So that is the level of efficiency now newer technologies are getting into the data center. So, in broad sense, what kind of workloads you have, what kind of hybrid strategy you have, what is your assessment of retirement of assets, and what kind of data center technologies you need to have will help you to drive your carbon footprint in your data centers. The second area is how do you use IT to drive sustainability across? And I think there are multiple ways. I was reading a very interesting article. We're working with the Swiss supercomputing facility. What they're doing is hydrogen as an alternative fuel. Today, because the energy consumption for doing the electrolysis to separate out hydrogen so that you can use it is very, very expensive. So they've created digital twins for the electrolytes, and they're running countless simulations to see if they can improve the efficiency of this whole hydrogen separation process so that it can become a viable fuel, and then it kind of addresses some of the sustainability issues which we have with using fossil fuels. There are numerous examples. I don't know how many of you follow when Mr. Naidu talked about Amravati city, smart city, and I was just checking that video 4 years back. I hope that vision of his gets executed now. That if you see that video and you realize what kind of green technologies can be incorporated in smart cities or cities what we have. So these are some of the areas we're seeing IT being leveraged. Area where we also helping customers is this is how this is a partial representation of multiple themes of ESG, what organizations run, and some are manual, some are digital. A lot of this for a CEO, if he wants to know where they are on an ESG journey, on a real-time basis, today digital platforms are available. We do this kind of work here in India. We have these digital platforms, and this allows you to have ability to report. It is important that even in AGMs today, CEOs are expected to talk about their ESG goals and where they are on those. This is our position on ESG goals. On direct energy goals, we're looking at reducing our carbon footprints by 70% by 2030. Indirect, 42%. This includes our suppliers, customers, and on an overall basis, we are looking at reducing our carbon footprint by 90%. We just inaugurated our campus in Bangalore. It's possibly the first green building across the globe what we have in India. Houses close to around 17,000 people, and we're looking at alternate energies to power that building here in India. These are some of the awards which reflect the work we've been doing in this space. One, as a customer, and what our, as an organization, and what our ESG goals are, how we've been helping our customers to achieve their sustainable goals, and also the global expertise, what we have across these areas. So we also have today in the afternoon, my colleagues are going to present a fairly comprehensive position on some of these areas which I spoke about. Please feel free to attend that session. And on that note, thank you once again for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dhar. We have with us, as we announced, Sri Rajiv Kumar IPS, Additional Chief Secretary of Department of Information Technology and Electronics, Government of West Bengal. I would request Dr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Chairperson of IT Entrepreneurs and E-Commerce Committee and Co-Chairperson of IT Committee, to please escort Sri Rajiv Kumar onto the dais. We are, I think, around 35 minutes behind time. We also had to start 15 minutes after our, from our scheduled time because of the traffic situation. I would request the speakers, if you could please, somewhat address your time. Maybe we'll be able to cover some time issue during this session, and we will try and do the rest in the subsequent sessions. With this, I would request Mr. Vinod Karumam Poel, Director, Digital Transformation Office, Cisco, for his address on technology for purpose. Again, syncing with technology for good. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Angana, you're one of the few people who can pronounce my surname properly, so I need to hand it to you. For others in the room, when I flew out from Mumbai, I was asking my wife, hey, what do you want me to get back from Calcutta? Then she said, take the rain from here, get back some sweets. So guys, I'm the person who got the rain to you guys. I heard it was 42 degrees yesterday. On that note, at Cisco, we believe what we do with tech needs to have a purpose. And for that, we've actually spelt out a purpose statement that you can see over there. It's quite simple. It says, powering an inclusive future for all, right? We've always powered the internet. All of you are aware of this. We are close to having done this for about 40 odd years as we speak in the close to 100 countries where we operate at the moment with the 85,000 odd people that we have. We strongly believe that when people are connected to each other, and that can be done tremendously well through tech to an extent, number one, the world as a whole is a better place to be in. If I were to look at the purpose that we have built, what we said it should do is, among the 7.5 to 8 billion the world would soon host, we want to be responsible for connecting and impacting at least 1 billion of the people, about 1/8, right? With that goal in mind, we've gone about charting our course using a variety of programs, much like our friends in the industry over here, and also the others who are probably thought leaders like ourselves and trying to do what we do. We run a program called Country Digital Acceleration, where we work with the government, with the industry, and with academia to bring digital outcomes. 1,300 of these projects have happened across the world, 100 plus in India specifically as we speak. We wanted specifically to get across and impact the 1 billion people. I'm happy to tell you that we've done it much ahead of time. We wanted to do it by 2025. We're setting new targets for ourselves because we already hit 1.1 billion already in trying to do it. My idea is not to enumerate the various good things that have happened or the wonderful slides which we often put together, but to enumerate to you and bring it closer to home on how Cisco's purpose of powering an inclusive future for all has happened in and around our country in India. India is crucial to Cisco's thing, in addition to what we announced as a Make in India initiative, which is already on its way. It is a commitment that we have that we would help bridge the capacity gap that exists in preparing the world for the digital transformations gap, which we know will soon come. I'm refraining from using the word generative AI because it's often used so often in these forums by all of us who are in the tech industry. But if I were to leave that aside and look at what we intend to do, let me give you 3 examples where we use tech for good in line with our purpose. A host of programs is what we have. Among them, let me just pick up 3 of them, which I think would do justice to the time. The first and foremost, I'm sure a lot of you would have gone across or done a module or a certification using Networking Academy. It is the longest running program in the world which kind of prepares people for the disruption that is going to come and for which we need to ready the whole world for. I want to again move from the worldwide picture to the Indian one. On the Indian side alone, about 18 lakh people who we have impacted because of this. You can see over there the split between the gender ratio that we have, the trainer of trainers that we have put in place, and how we go about impacting the lives and get a lot of people ready for an industry entry-level job. And for those who are further down the career, it is probably the certificate for you to become a cybersecurity expert. That is probably the flavor of the season, hence the reason that I called that out specifically. Specifically taking that forward, we extended the program to ensure that we provide cyber suraksha to the less privileged and also to the vulnerable parts in the society. We do this very actively through the smart city projects in which we are closely involved with the defense folks with whom we work very closely and with a host of other people where we run these courses for children, for the safety, and also for the elderly folks. So when a lot of you get Cisco training that you get for a lot of your enterprise, please remember you can extend this to the larger part of your families with what can be done. And we tend to do this in all the remote locations where a lot of our servicemen work and operate. We do it here, and this is a model which has now been taken across the world out of India. The other one is not too far from here, is Project Niramay. This is something that we're doing along with the Piramal Foundation, in which we actually enable what was commonly known as telemedicine, which kind of evolved people to collaborate, number one, with the advances that has happened in the whole mobile revolution that we have within the country. It's become easy to do, but to get it linked with health records, which can go back to Ayushman Bharat, which can then go back to the doctors, with gear that could be used using Cisco WebEx and a telemedicine kit which works seamlessly, is something that we have tried to do. With the success that we see over there, we are expecting that this will probably set up more hub and spoke models for us to extend this across the country. We are hoping to see that this would prominently figure out and connect to more of the village panchayats, not only in Assam, but also across the country as we move forward in this decade. The third one is something for the young folks, number one. We actually do this, it's called the Cisco Thinkubator. This is for anybody who's got an idea and is in college and wants to dirty their hands, number one, right? You can come in to us, talk to us, message us, and just get on with your idea, and we're here to enable you to do that, right? This is not your classic VC incubator stuff. This is a Thinkubator stuff. So you're welcome to try this out for all the people who've got the how to put it, the key to something on. We are here to help and facilitate with you with that. On that note, looking ahead for us is not something that you do by reveling in the past. We need to be prepared for a little bit of a disruption that's going to come. It's going to come on skills. It's going to come on use cases. It is also going to come on what we want to do when we use so much of tech and impact the climate. Sustainability in IT, sustainability through IT is a pervasive theme to it, and Cisco has signed up for it as is with everybody else. On that note, that's all I have for you today. We are the bridge to the possible, and we believe in an inclusive future for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Karumam Poyal. We would now have a special address on take control of your digital transformation journey by Mr. Amit Singh, Senior Vice President, Control-Less Data Centers Limited.
Good morning. My name is Amit Singh. I am a Senior Vice President with Control-Less for Sales. And like my dear friend Vinod got reins from Mumbai, I got a data center in Kolkata. We just announced our data center yesterday. It's coming in Newtown, Silicon Valley. I'll just run through on what Control-Less is all about. And so just trying to put some context in place on why a company like Control-Less decided to build a data center in Kolkata. Control-Less started sometime in 2008. Our first data center was in Hyderabad. Then in 2011, we built a data center in Mumbai. And right now, at this moment, we have around 15 data centers across Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi. We built one in Patna, Lucknow, and Kolkata is our latest one. We feel that the Eastern Corridor has been a bit ignored and has mainly been a 2G, 3G, and sometimes 4G play, which is changing now. And that's the reason why the traffic shift happening from Mumbai, Chennai, all the way is shifting to tier 2, tier 3 cities. The internet growth now is not in the metros, but actually in the tier 2, tier 3 cities. So these are some of the initiatives which motivated us to decide and zero in on Kolkata as our next big venture for us. We have some support from the government coming in. The land that we got at Silicon Valley, again, is a motivating factor for us. Also, I mean, people are talking about GPU, high-performance computing, AI. These are all buzzwords. I mean, the AI workload forecasted for India, if it comes to India, is so huge that we would be around 700 to 800 megawatt less. Even though if you see now, data centers and AI are all buzzwords. You come to Mumbai, you come to Chennai, anywhere you go, you throw a stone, it will land on a data center. Some advantage for us, why we decided on Kolkata. Again, it's been the commercial hub for a long time. And a lot of submarine projects are now coming into this part. There are talks of submarine cable being built in Digha. Traditionally, on the Indian landscape, all the submarine cables fundamentally land into Mumbai and Chennai. And that's how you connect going towards Singapore, and that's how you connect going towards Europe and towards US, and from Singapore towards LA. But now, with the growth in internet, it becomes fundamentally important that we should not backhaul all the requirement going into these two locations only. And with Kolkata coming up as a region for the submarine cable, it becomes more proximity to Singapore. So fundamentally, India is a very young country. I mean, our average age is 28. Millennials are driving the growth. We heard my other colleagues talking about it. A lot of applications which are latency sensitive. For example, gaming. Gaming is still an application which is very unexplored in India. With Kolkata coming up as a region for subsea connectivity, it becomes a lower latency going towards Singapore. That's another driving factor in this entire scheme. The policies we spoke about, we have stamp duty exemptions. We are getting 100% exemptions on electricity. By design, a data center is a very capital-intensive business. And like each business has a raw material, the two fundamental raw materials for a data center is land, real estate, and power. And both are very, very, very expensive resource. So getting these exemptions motivate us so that we could think ahead and maybe take a 5-year, 7-year window to go ahead and recover the investments that we do. We are also doing a lot of green initiatives. Later on in my slides, we will cover about it on how we are trying to make a sustained effort in this field. Okay, this is interesting. Till 7-8 years back, fundamentally, whenever we used to walk out of the house, we used to switch off our mobile data and come home back and then switch it on to a Wi-Fi, which changed over the last 7-8 years with 4G being the new norm. People are talking about 5G. In a 5G ecosystem, I mean, at least in a 150 to 200 meters range, we'll have to have a fiberized tower, a mobile tower which is connected on fiber. The demand, the traffic that's going to grow because of that is almost 4x to 5x of what we have currently. So 5G is a growth driver on edge. What do we mean by edge data centers? The last element or the last part of the network which serves that customer is called the edge. India, due to our population, which was once a disadvantage, now seems to be the main internet driver across. I have a user in Asansol who's trying to access some content. He goes all the way back to Mumbai or to Delhi or to Chennai. That takes a lot of capacities for the network to pull it back. The user experience is not that great. Some of us must have felt that buffering coming all the time when we were trying to open up some apps. So what we talk about edge is that we take the content, we take the application to the last element of the network, and we would serve the customer from there. We fundamentally feel that edge is going to play a very important role in a country with a population of 1.4 billion, where the traffic needs to be localized. And as a company, we have invested and we are investing considerably in the edge ecosystem. We are building data centers across tier 2, tier 3 cities. We are building one in Ahmedabad, Gift City. We are building one in Jaipur, Nagpur, Vizag, Guwahati, Bhubaneswar, and few more others which are in the pipeline. Madurai. This gives you an overview of how the demand for the data center and the cloud industry changes. So today, if a hyperscaler like a AWS or a Microsoft or a Google decides to make Kolkata as an availability zone or as a cloud region, the entire power dynamics changes with that. Today, the power requirements are such, and with AI workloads, people are talking about 40 kVA per rack, which started fundamentally with 3. Now is going up to 40. The rack sizes are changing. From a 42U rack, we are talking about 56U racks. So with that, there's a lot of change in the power forecast also. And India data center capacity would reach to 5,200 megawatt. That's the forecast in next 5 years. So we are also playing our cards there. We have 5 huge campuses in Mumbai, Traditionally, Mumbai, 50% of data center capacity lands in Mumbai, fundamentally because of the submarine part. And the next biggest one is Chennai. Then we have Pune coming in, we have Hyderabad. Hyderabad surely will pick up more. Kolkata, unfortunately, has been a 6 megawatt market so far. But now with the government changes, we are foreseeing a lot of growth coming in. This again talks about our company. I just covered about it passingly. For us, our motto or our objective for the next 6 years is to invest close to $2 billion in this market. We are an Indian company. We are headquartered in Hyderabad. And we take pride in saying that we are among the only few companies who have ventured India out. We have announced our data center in Thailand as well, in a place called Chonburi. And we are evaluating other markets too, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia. These are, obviously, we don't want to go into the evolved markets like Singapore or Hong Kong, but we are looking at other emerging markets as well. Again, an overview of all our data centers. Currently, we have around 250 plus megawatt of capacities across all our data centers. Again, Bombay being the highest one. Kolkata campus. So we have a 5.6 acre plot in Silicon Valley. This facility can go up to 60 megawatt. This would be built in 4 phases. The first phase that we have is for 16 megawatt, and it should be live next quarter. We are hoping for an August 15th launch for this data center. Certain guidelines that we do, and this is a basic DNA that we follow in terms of our infrastructure readiness. We are the very first rated 4 data center. Rated 4 is, in a simple term, it's everything that we have has a backup for it. It gives an uptime of 99.95, and I can thump my chest and say that it's been 13 years and we've not been down so far. AI, the buzzword. We are also building our infrastructure for AI, right from a basic fact that our ceiling heights for the new upcoming data centers have changed. It's close to 5.6 meters now. Cooling, we are trying to evaluate new technologies, whether it's immersion cooling or any other forms of cooling which can help us save electricity. We are doing that. These are again our upcoming data centers. We are building a campus of around, in Chennai, there are 2 buildings which are coming up in Ambattur. We have just launched another campus in Hyderabad, DC3. And again, Mumbai, we are coming up with 1 more campus. This is an overview of the edge data centers that I spoke about. These cities are planned, and the reason why we picked up these cities is due to the traffic that originates from these locations. The primary drivers for us is the internet acceptance and usage within these cities, which drives us to build our edge here. So besides doing a colo or infrastructure as a service business, we also provide a lot of managed services. We also have a network of our own. Again, the network is fundamentally to facilitate our data center. We are not a telco, and we don't aspire to be a telco. Our networks are fundamentally to help our customers who need infrastructure as a service and some network elements with it. Sustainability, again, we're trying to give back to the society in whatever ways we can. We have LEED certifications across. We have some awards, multiple awards that we've got over a period of time. But the most important point that I would like to highlight here is that we are building our own solar plant. We have a solar plant coming up in Nagpur, and in another 2 weeks' time, it should be live and commissioned. We have senior people from multiple hyperscalers working on sustainability and green energy. The Nagpur solar plant will give us around 100 megawatts of green energy. Obviously, each state has a different limitation on the energy that we can pull back. But yeah, we are trying to give it back in whatever form we can. These are some of the multiple awards that we've got over the period of last 14, 15 years. That's it. Thank you so much, and we look forward for your support in our baby steps in Kolkata, and I'm open to engage with anybody wanting to know more on us. Thank you.
We would now request Rajiv Kumar, IPS Additional Chief Secretary of Department of Information Technology and Electronics, Government of West Bengal, to deliver the conclave address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the guests on the dais. The theme for today's conclave is Tech for Good. So all of us understand tech and good maybe, but we are so focused on tech, sometimes we forget about, I wouldn't say forget, but sometimes we don't take that, we don't focus so much on good. And that's a very important part of life. So I'll start with, there is a, what makes us, what is fundamentally good? I'll start with, in a game theory, there is a very basic dilemma which is taught in Game Theory 101, which is called prisoner's dilemma. So there are two prisoners, and they are taken to different rooms. Everyone is given a condition that if you confess, you get 1 year of sentence, and if you don't confess, you get 7 years of sentence. But in case of somebody, if your buddy confesses that, he gets it 1 year and you get it 7 years. So it's like this. So this is a dilemma which is faced prisoners. So as it's taught in game theory, that if prisoners were to cooperate, if they don't confess, they tend to gain maximum if they cooperate with each other. And as it happens, most of the time, they look for local maxima in your parlance, and they end up getting 7 year sentence both. So the prisoner's dilemma talks about cooperation. How do we cooperation even in a bad word? It helps us achieve a global maxima where we can reach. So cooperation is one of the very misunderstood and maybe very, what should I say, neglected terms in our parlance. We give too much of emphasis on intelligence, IQ, smartness. But cooperation makes us what we are today. And some of us, some of the basic thought which some of the, I would say, modern day philosophers say is based on the fact that we as human species rule the world not merely because of intelligence or physical strength or something else. It's basically we are able to cooperate on a large scale. That is what makes us what we are. So this cooperation part is very important for all of us to understand, especially in a space where we are creating values for others. Just to elaborate a thing that because you are tech guys, you will understand it better, that the jury about whether this talk about AI, and especially because of the LLMs. What is LLM? Some of us feel that these models will replace us, and some of us feel no, they are just like machines which have crammed up a lot of things, and they remind us of a student in our classes. When we were a kid, there was always a student who will cram up everything and will score more than all of us, and we always thought that he didn't understand the subject, but he always did well in the exam. So some of the feeling in the AI community, I would say, one step people are taking back is LLMs are basically models which have digested a lot of knowledge. They are still a little far away from showing the real intelligence. But there are people who would say, no, they are there, and it's just a matter of time. So the two founders of AI, one, Mr. Hinton, he feels that these systems will kind of take over. And Mr. Lee Kun is a Meta chief, and he's also one of the AI. He feels they are not intelligent enough to kind of cause that kind of harm to all of us. So I'll try to focus on the goodness part, and which is, so the thing, and why I mentioned cooperation is because when we see, everyone says that follow your dreams, and it is and after that Three Idiot thing, I think it became quite a popular thing, that follow your dream. It's told to young kids, everyone, you will find this thing. You see, following dream is very easy. It seems very easy. It seems quite, it misses one portion. It misses the cooperation part. I can follow my dream if I can follow it, if I can take care of the dreams of people around me. If I just keep focusing on myself, following my dream, it's difficult to achieve. But if I can align it, if I can align my dreams with the dreams of people around me, with the people I serve, people I connect, I'm more likely to achieve the dream. So following your dream is not a bad thing, but just focusing it selfishly, or I would say selfishly, maybe there could be a better word, but just focusing on oneself, that follow your dreams, may not take you, may not be a recipe for success. Because we need to see that we take people around us, they should also be able to achieve their dreams. So one of the very important points which you ask any of these successful people, say a person who is a good mathematician or a person who has done good, you ask him, how come you are so good at maths? So he tells, or he or she would tell you, that maybe in class 8th or 9th, when I was a young kid, there was a teacher who took me aside and said, oh, you are very good at maths. That positive feedback, it goes into he started working harder, became better at maths, and that is how. So the idea of positive feedback loop is very important, and all of you are in a very positions of influence and power, where you have a lot of young kids and a lot of people who are looking at us. We can give them there is nothing to compare the power of positive feedback loop. It's a very important thing. All of us know about it, but only some of us practice. So I hope, and this to remind me, myself also, that we need to practice it a little more. It makes an immense effect on the people we are interacting with. So when somebody said that and which is the right thing, that we are a very young country, 28 years. We are not going to be like this. We have only 25 years. We are still now, our birth rates are such that we are not replacing the population. So we are going to be young in these 25 years. It's an exciting time. We can achieve for the next generations. This is the next 25 years are going to be very crucial. We are definitely everything is working for us, and demography is working for us, but it will not work forever. So this is the time. And talking about people also, when the tech companies, big tech companies, CEOs and important people, I would somehow say that this again a critique, and this easy to do, but I would again say that whatever is coming from anything which is a product which is successful outside, it comes here, it gets successful, it gets replicated or whatever. But some of the basic, because we are a different society, we are not exact replica of, say, Western Europe or US, so we have slightly different problems also. Some of those problems needs to be, I would looked into by the tech industry, and there is a lot of problem to solve. Somebody was telling me, like in case if you ask me, one of the main aggregation of, for an Indian citizen, I think aggregation of cab was great, Ola, Uber brought, but I think aggregation of buses of this thing is also a thing which people would help. But maybe it's coming, but it's coming slowly. Like aggregation, the logistic part, we pay around 14%, the cost of logistics in India is 14%. In Western countries are 7 to 8%. The technology can really help there. That's the kind of thing where we need to bring and thing. But let's not, there are difficult things and we are a different society, let's say, with different, not some problems are overlapping, but some of those are different. I would, the NVIDIA was being talked about. It's a company which has generated a lot of wealth in the last 2 years. It's become a $2 trillion company. And I will quote the CEO of NVIDIA. His name is Rangson. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. He says, when he was addressing the Harvard graduates and other, he says that I wish all of us a little bit of pain and suffering. Because pain or suffering, you see, the success comes out of character. And character, again, is not built by smartness, IQ, or whatever, or degrees. Character is built through hard work and some amount of pain and suffering. And that brings us success. I wish a little bit of, to repeat his words, little bit of pain and suffering for all of us, so that we learn, we become better, and we taste that success which we are all looking for. And not only for ourselves, for people around us. Thank you very much for giving me this time. Thank you very much.
We would now have, as you may be knowing, that JETRO New Delhi has brought a delegation of Japanese companies from India and Bangladesh. So we will have an overseas perspective by Mr. Takashi Suzuki, Chief Director General, JETRO New Delhi.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Takashi Suzuki, and my organization is JETRO, Japan External Trade Organization. It's a Japanese government organization which is promoting any business happening between India and Japan. And this IT conclave, actually this is our third time participation, and for the first time after COVID, and we are very happy to come back to this auspicious event, and I really thank the organizer, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce, to invite us. Thank you very much. And today's my topic is JETRO and India-Japan IT collaboration. And mainly my topic is to introduce about the kind of current situation of those Japanese business here in India. And just a brief introduction about our organization, JETRO in India. We have 5 offices. I'm in New Delhi, and we have one in Ahmedabad, one in Mumbai, one in Bangalore, and one in Chennai. We have 5 offices. And very unfortunately, we don't have our office in West Bengal, but our New Delhi office, I am covering this area, and also such IT-related or digital-related or even the startup or the innovation kind of the business will be also covered by our team in Bangalore. This is our structure here in India. And the interesting thing is this time I accompanied with my team from Dhaka, Bangladesh. And now it's a kind of hot topic. Now we are discussing about this Bay of Bengal economy. And of course, IT industry is one of the, the biggest topic, how we can work together over IT industry in this, the Bengal region. So this time our team from Bangladesh is also joining this event. And this is a start from existing Japanese companies situation. Now we have 1,400 Japanese companies, but there are 84% of those 1,400 Japanese companies are mainly located in 5 cities and regions. You can imagine Delhi NCR and Mumbai area, Chennai area, Bangalore area, and newly coming up Gujarat is the one of the place. And you must be disappointed. You can only find 25 Japanese companies here in West Bengal. But I would like to emphasize there are a few very interesting examples of the Japanese companies here in West Bengal in Kolkata. One is Nomura Research Institute. They have the big setup for their, the system development center here in Kolkata. And another major IT companies from Japan, Fujisoft, they have the joint venture and they set up their joint venture company here in Kolkata. And why they come to Kolkata, I understand the keenness is, the huge talent pool here in West Bengal with a very educated and experienced the talent engineers are here in this city and regions. So my recognition is that it's always the most potential sector with those Japanese companies here in Kolkata or West Bengal. And this is flow of the number of Japanese companies for this 12 or 15 years. Now we have 1,400 Japanese companies, and if we count all the offices and factories here in India, it's going to be 4,900. It's not a small number, but you can see it's a kind of stuck after COVID time. But I'm really optimistic. It's going to be increasing. Why? Because here in my office in New Delhi, every day, at least 2 delegations from Japan, they are visiting my office, and they are all the newcomers in the very diverse sectors, not only automotive sectors, non-automotives, the more service industry. Some of them are dealing with the IT or digital-related technologies. Now they are very keen to do something in India or with Indian partners like you. So I'm really optimistic. This number will be increasing from now on. And this is a situation of Japanese investment to India. The blue bars are showing the investment from Japan to India. And the red line is showing the global investment towards India. So if you see this chart, you may think like investment from Japan is rather, stable. And the global investment towards India is going up. But comparing with those Japanese investment to China, I just wrote down to China, Japanese investment in 10 years, average, the amount is 4.0 billion US dollar per year. And what about the Japanese investment towards India? It's almost 2.4 billion US dollar per year. And yeah, it's actually smaller than our investment to China, but I must tell you, in China, we have more than 20,000 Japanese companies in China. On the other hand, we have only 1,400 Japanese companies here in India. So this amount of the investment is not so small comparing those number of the Japanese business. And this is a sector-wise Japanese business situation. Maybe you can imagine the manufacturing is our majority in India. And you also can easily imagine that the automotive sector is the majority. And those other non-automotive sectors like electronics and industrial machinery or chemical products, those industry is also aiming the automotive industry. So yeah, we can say the manufacturing is the core business of Japanese in Indian market. But I would like to emphasize, this manufacturing sector is now very much keen to their digital transformation. They would like to transform their business, taking advantage of digital technology, software, ITs. So their keenness to work with Indian IT industries, I think, are highest ever. Now is the momentum for us to support a kind of the matchmaking between those Japanese manufacturing industry and Indian IT sectors. That's our currently. And actually, those are existing Japanese companies here in India is making the good business. And 70% of those Japanese companies are making the profit. They can afford to diversify their business, taking advantage of IT capability. And the same size of the Japanese companies, 70% of them are thinking to expand their business here in India. So again, I'd like to say it's the momentum. And the summer example, those are the big manufacturing companies are now very much interested in expanding their global R&Ds. And of course, you know, the Panasonic, Sony, Toshiba, NEC, Hitachi, Fujitsu, those are electronics-related Japanese giant companies already started their global R&D since 2010 or sometime. But recently, their demand or interest is going up to the very high level of the digital technology. The recent example is Fujitsu. Last year, they set up their own global R&D center aiming the AI and quantum computing. And those Japanese, the big companies are also interested to work with the Indian IT industries. So this will be the good chance for you to work together with those Japanese companies, and they are the manufacturers. On the other hand, our challenge, we can find a very small number of Japanese SMEs here in India. Compared with those Japanese companies in China, or Japanese companies in ASEAN, or even in the Bangladesh, almost half of them, or more than half of those Japanese companies are Japanese SMEs. On the other hand, in India, only 15% of them are Japanese SMEs. Of course, there are many manufacturers of Japanese SMEs, and the many IT-related companies of those Japanese SMEs. I would like to promote more the collaboration between those Japanese SMEs and Indian IT business. That will make them for more globalized business or internationalized business or more cutting-edge technologies business. That's our intention. And another challenge is about the rather institutional exchange between India and Japan in the digital field is not enough. This is one example. If we take the sector of IoT, India's Institute's international co-research project with Europe is the majority, the big 34%. Those are co-research projects with Europe. And interestingly, those are India Institute making the co-research projects with China. They are 28%. And with United States, 24%. And 12% for Korea. But Japan, only 2% of those are the co-research project is with India. So we need to promote more institutional exchange for the research and development. And if we have some other participants from Indian college or university or institutes, please talk to me, and I would like to discuss with this matter too. And just a brief introduction about the initiative. We support any Indian company who are interested in doing business in Japan. And we also support Indian startups who would like to work together with the Japanese enterprises. The initiative called the J-Bridge we are now doing. And we are also keen to promote more Japanese business to recruit the Indian talent. So of course, you know, IT engineer is one of the big topic for us. But I hesitate to introduce this situation. This is a comparison of the relation between India, Japan, and China and Japan. Especially those people-to-people exchange. For example, number of Japanese visitors to India and China. Between Japan and India, 240,000 the Japanese people visit India. On the other hand, those are Japanese visitors to China is a 2.68 million. This is a big gap is happening. And another example is Indian students in Japan, 1,500. On the other hand, Chinese student in Japan is almost 1 lakh. So we also would like to promote a people-to-people exchange between two countries. And this Kolkata and West Bengal is a huge talent pool. That's why we are keen to work together with you. And yeah, the last but not the least, just I would like to introduce this afternoon we are going to have a Japan session. I think after this opening session in a different venue, we are going to organize this event. And this time we invited two companies. One is a ProLogic. And actually they are the Indian company, but recently they initiated one new business with Japanese company. So he would like to share with you the experience with Japanese business. And second one is a Prime Number. It's a Japanese company. Now they are stationed in the Bangalore, and they would like to share with you some of the prospects with the Indian business. And also my colleague from Dhaka, Bangladesh would like to speak about the India, Bangladesh, Japan trilateral partnership in IT sectors. So please come to this session. And this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Yes, there will be a parallel session on, with the Japanese delegation. We'll make announcement. It will be at Sapphire. You can join there, as relevant to your interest. So my colleague at the backstage. So we have a very pleasant task to perform while we are waiting for the Honorable MIC, Sri Babul Supriyo. So at the 15th Business IT Conclave, on the occasion of the 15th Business and IT Conclave, we have the pleasure of felicitating the former leadership of Business IT Conclave, the founding chairperson and the chair and co-chair during the tenure of Business IT Conclave. I would request Mr. Ravindra Chamaria, Group Chairman Infinity, to please join us on the dais and join our President, Mr. Gautam Ray, and President-designate, Mr. Arnab Basu, to felicitate the former leadership of the IT Committee. We would request Mr. Joydeep Dattagupta, the founding chairperson of the IT Committee of the Bengal Chamber, to please come on the dais. We'd now request Mr. R.N. Lahiri, former chairperson of the IT Committee, to please join us on the dais. We would now request Mr. Debashish Basu, former co-chairperson of the IT committee. We'd now request Mr. Sanjay Shen, former co-chairperson of the IT committee. Sajid, may we have the screen once, please? We would like to inform that Mr. Shubho Shamanto, who is also former co-chairperson of the committee, he is traveling, so he could not join us. He has sent his best wishes to us. And late Sri Rajarshi Sengupta, he is no more with us. We contacted his family. They are also not in station, so we'll be sending the mementos to their residences. May I request Mr. Joydeep Dattagupta, Mr. Debashish Basu, Mr. R.N. Lahiri, and Mr. Sanjay Shen to please join us once more on the dais so that we can have a group photograph along with the ACS Rajiv Kumar and the other dignitaries on the dais. We'd now request Mr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya, Chairperson IT Entrepreneurs and E-Commerce National Committee and Co-Chairperson IT Committee to share way forward as we are waiting for the Honorable Minister in charge. May I request President and Mr. Arnab Basu to please present a token of our appreciation to the ACS. So we would request Dr. Chiranjeev Bhattacharya to share a few words as we are waiting for the Honorable MIC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angona. Respected guests and respected dignitaries on the dais, sincere gratitude to you for being with us here today. It's in fact a matter of great pride for us at the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry to have been able to present this program in this manner on its crystal anniversary. The success of this program is not only an accomplishment of the Bengal Chamber, it also marks an efficient event of the city's technology engagements. Our efforts have always been to showcase the potential of Kolkata as an IT destination, and we are sincerely thankful to all of you for joining here in this endeavor. We need to applaud the IT fraternity of the city as well, who are growing more and more united with time and thereby creating an ecosystem of shared growth. The Bengal Chamber believes that this is an annual gathering culminating into our year-round engagements with some stakeholders, whereas creating germination of new stakeholders and new collaborations constantly. Our constant efforts have been to support the technology ecosystem. Throughout the year, the Chamber is involved in organizing roundtable discussions, B2B sessions, B2G meets, startup mentoring, investors connects, overseas links, and other initiatives which facilitate business in this technology domain. The Bengal Chamber has also taken up policy advocacy in technology space actively by seeking recommendations from the IT fraternity and submitting the same to the central ministry as representations from the East. Some of them includes promotion of collaboration between academia, industry, and government, establishing an open data policy, fostering innovation through incentives for tech startups, investment in digital infrastructure in rural areas, focusing on building data centers, and popularizing the ONDC platform, among some other issues. We would like to thank our IT committee members for being our strength. They have constantly helped us in reaching out to relevant speakers and partners. In our journey, we have been fortunate to have some partners consistently with us. We would like to thank them for keeping their faith on us every year. And we also welcome and express our sincere gratitude to our new partners. Speakers have traveled from different parts of the country and abroad, carving out time from their hectic schedules. The Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry expresses deep gratitude to the government of West Bengal for not only supporting the Chamber's initiatives like today's, but also including the Chamber in various engagements of the government. Sincere thanks to JETRO and BASIS for bringing in the delegations. Thanks to our friends from the media. Your role is actually immense in creating positive vibes of IT in Bengal. And congratulations to all the invitees and delegates. Your participation and engagements make or break a program. So thank you so much once again.